We really won the jackpot by getting that sit. And taking care of cats, it's so much easier than dogs. Don't get me wrong, I love both cats and dogs. But taking care of cats is usually much easier, and you can just leave them alone by itself as long as you feed them. And especially after not so ideal living conditions in the Philippines, here is a video about the Philippines. And after taking care of a beautiful, loving Belgian Malinois, a 1-year-old that gets trained to become a service dog, I was really looking forward a lot to much more quiet times. Finally, it was starting. Our 3-month sit with 3 cats. For 88 days, we would take care of 3 beautiful, so loving, so nice cats in paradise. We're so looking forward for that. For us, the longer the sit, the better. Cheaper, easier, not always having to move, all that. And 90 days is the longest we can stay in Thailand without having to do a visa run. A visa run meaning to leave the country for 1 or 2 days and come back in. Wow, this is how I imagined our nomad life in Southeast Asia. Jungle, warm, looking like a paradise. This is what went through my head when arriving at the Monoceros resort in Mae Rim on March 4th, 2025. Our hosts Karen and Mark put us up there for a night. A dossier with all the information about the house and cat sitting job was waiting for us there. Paul went to the restaurant to eat some dinner, and I stayed at the little house and read the dossier while eating the last of my hard-boiled eggs that was left over from our move. And suddenly it started again with feeling very unwell. Nausea, pain, anxiety. Unfortunately, it already all started during our move from the Philippines to Thailand. Here is the video about that. And unfortunately, it got so much worse. I got so sick and nauseous, I felt like throwing up, especially every time I moved. Oh yeah, I know that kind of nausea, the motion sickness, how I call it. It's so bad. Every little movement feels like I have to throw up. I don't, but it feels like it. And even when Paul sat on the bed or laid on the bed, it moved the bed and I felt like throwing up. It was so bad. And I got really cold. The thermostat was set at 24 Celsius degrees and Paul put it to 26 Celsius. But I was just so cold and really so not good feeling. And I was so fucking crazy tired. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get much sleep the previous night, the last night we spent in the Philippines right before our move to Thailand. So, of course, I was so tired, but I just couldn't sleep. Well, eventually I did fall asleep, maybe around 10:30 p.m. But at 20 minutes after midnight, I woke up with a crazy IBS attack. So much stabbing pain. It felt like the pain that I get after eating gluten or bell peppers or beans or something like that. But I didn't eat any of that. I didn't eat anything but my safe carnivore food that I cooked myself. So no, it wasn't from the food. And I also didn't drink any other water than from drinking fountains or bottled water. So I went to the bathroom to go pee, and then when I came back, I didn't feel cold anymore, so I put the thermostat back to 24 degrees because I know otherwise Paul would feel too hot. Yeah, probably shouldn't have done that because as soon as I was back in bed, I was so fucking cold again, really so cold, but I really didn't want to get up anymore. And yeah, again, that motion sickness, so I was just freezing. Of course, I also didn't want to wake up Paul and tell him, hey, please put the thermostat up again, because every time I'm so sick, I feel so bad for Paul. Many times I have to wake him up, and he takes care of me for years now. Yeah, he takes care of me. He has to see me suffer. He's very worried and he feels helpless. I actually think it is much harder for him than it is for me when I'm so crazy sick. Well, the entire night was a mix of getting some sleep, but just for a very short time, and being in pain, nausea, and having constant anxiety. My entire body was like vibrating. Around 6:50 a.m., I knew I wouldn't get any more sleep anymore. And the entire night, I was worrying about the following schedule. At 9 a.m., our hosts pick us up, drive us to their house, show us the house and everything, then take us to 3 stores grocery shopping, then bringing us back to our bungalow in the resort where we can relax and pack up. And then they pick us up at 2:30 p.m. to bring us to the house, and they'll go back to the resort until they leave around midnight for the United States. So that's the schedule. And the entire night I was worrying, how the fuck am I gonna make that? I was thinking maybe I should go join the house tour and then go back to the resort to lay down and get more sleep, and Paul would go shopping with them alone. Around 7:50 a.m. I had so much pain, anxiety, nausea, and diarrhea. Paul said, "You're not going anywhere." And he was right. I couldn't have gone anywhere. And he told me to take half a Tylenol and half an ibuprofen. And this time I didn't argue at all like I usually do. And I took both, half of each. And he made me a hot water bottle. So that was soothing, and I went back to bed. I felt so bad. I wanted to make a good impression. I feel like meeting the hosts from Trusted House Sitters is like a job interview. Well, actually, the interview is more when you have the FaceTime talk with them and stuff. That's the interview. When you meet them, it's too late for them to change their minds. But still, I just wanted to show myself from my best side, make a good impression, and of course, still be honest, authentic, and be myself. So I'm taking these meetings very seriously, but as mentioned, Paul was right. I really couldn't have met them. And I had to make a second bathroom run again as well. While Paul was gone, I fell back to sleep, maybe for 1 hour. And then Paul came back to compete, and he told me, okay, they will go shopping now. I was on and off asleep and awake, but more awake. And the meds, they kicked in and they really helped. But I felt so crazy, tired and lethargic. Just no energy at all. Like every little movement cost so much energy. Just like doing this, so much energy. While Paul was gone, he texted me that Randy texted him. Randy was our host in the Philippines. And Paul texted me that Randy texted him that this morning, Randy went out with Tinkerbell, his dog, the Belgian Malinois, and there was this little white dog off leash, and it freaked her out, and Randy had to restrain Tinkerbell so much that he re-injured his leg. Fuck, he really could have needed us for much longer. I felt so bad for him. I really was hoping that his leg was healed up enough again, but now he just re-injured it. Here is that video about how Randy injured his leg. So Paul came back and he told me about the house and the cats, about the meat and seafood he bought, and then we just rested up. We packed up the rest of our stuff, and Karen and Mark picked us up. I felt so weak, and it was so fucking hard to get out of bed. I remember it was so hard, but after moving for a bit, for a while, it felt better. It was okay. So they picked us up, and the drive to the house was only like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. So that was great. And I actually was feeling really good, just so fucking hungry. Yeah, of course, I already started feeling hungry a while ago, but I didn't want to eat anything because I was scared to get sick and nauseous again. And I didn't have any food anymore, except for my emergency canned food. So the last time I ate something was that hard-boiled egg the evening before that was left over from our move. They showed me around on their property, and holy fucking shit, we really won the jackpot. We really are in paradise, and we get to spend 3 months here. Really? So fucking awesome. I mean, look at this. I'm gonna show you. Right now, I'm sitting in front of the house, and I'm gonna show you what I see here right now. So here, this is the entrance. I'm sitting here, and look at this. Look at this. I mean, there is much more to see, but this is what I can show you here from my seat without having to get up. Fucking paradise. So the house has 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, an office, a living room, another room, a kitchen, and a little balcony. So much space. When we do trusted house sitting, I'm not filming like a tour of where we're living because of privacy reasons. And it's really so beautiful and so artsy. And there is even a workshop with another kitchen and bathroom that I showed you before. That was the workshop. And a barbecue is outside. And a guest house slash her atelier is also on the property, like all the way up there. You can't see it from here where I'm sitting. Oh, actually you can see it a little bit. A palm tree is in front of it. Surrounded by beautiful plants, kind of jungle-like, and a pond. We are in paradise. There are two other houses on the property. Elise, a retired woman from London, the neighbor, and the landlord. It's on top of a hill and around it kind of like jungle. Kind of hidden, quiet, just nature sounds. Well, and sometimes some sounds you can hear from down there, I think when people have a party or a gathering outside, but it's really quiet usually. So fucking awesome, beautiful. Exactly what I love and need. I was doing pretty okay when she showed me around. I was just really weak and hungry. And when she showed me the outside and it was really hot, I actually realized, oh shit, I didn't drink anything the entire day yet, except for when I took the meds. So I brought a water bottle with me, so I started drinking from that, but I felt really hot. We said farewell, and as soon as they were gone, I told Paul, I need to eat now. Back in the house, it was crazy. I tried to make ground beef that Paul bought earlier, but I was so fucking hot, weak, crazy nauseous, in pain. It was so bad. I sat on the floor in front of the fan, but I soon realized that the floor was actually cooler. So I just laid down on the floor in front of the fan to try to cool off. As soon as I got off the floor, the hot flash kicked in again. Paul brought me ice and I put the bag here on my cheeks and on the palms of my hands. I held it like that, and on the soles of my foot. Yes, I learned that from the Huberman podcast. That's the best way how to cool down or heat yourself up. Well, then of course with something hot and not cold. As soon as it was done, I just shoved ground beef into my mouth, but it was so fucking lean and dry, and I needed fat. I needed fat so desperately. So it just didn't work. So Paul started making some ground pork for me that he also bought that should be much fattier. And I was just laying on the floor and going crazy. So as soon as that was done, the ground pork, I shoved that into my mouth, and yes, that worked. That was fatty enough. So I was just laying there on the floor, shoving food into my mouth and holding the ice pack with my feet together to cool off. Sometimes it is getting loud here from nature sounds, like that one. I felt so much better, but so crazy, tired, exhausted, and so weak. Paul had to help me to get into bed. At least the pain was gone. But of course, I was still so hungry. So Paul made me 2 pork patties made out from the same ground pork that I just ate earlier. So I just took 1 bite from it and I just spit it out right away again. I felt so fucking sick, I thought I had to throw up. Back to the toilet, pains, nausea, feeling like puking, anxiety, more diarrhea. It was around 7 p.m. Paul told me to take again half an ibuprofen and half a Tylenol. And I thought, no, I just want to take 1/2 this time, not both. But which one? So I Googled what is better if you have IBS, ibuprofen or Tylenol. And I didn't just figure out that Tylenol is better for IBS, but also that ibuprofen can cause IBS, or especially for people that have a lot of IBS, it can make it worse. Holy fucking shit. For years, I've been dealing with IBS, and for years, I've been taking ibuprofen if I really had to. I gotta stop that right away. Needless to say, I chose to take half of the Tylenol. During events like that, I can barely talk, if even. So there's always a lot of texting going on between Paul and me, so I can communicate. Well, actually, just I am texting, he can talk. So after sitting on the bathroom floor for a while, then Paul helped me getting back to bed, and we decided no more food today. It will just make me nauseous. Maybe around 10 p.m. I fell asleep with a hot water bottle. At 1:53 a.m., I woke up feeling like puking again and having anxiety again. So back to the bathroom, pain joined in, and Skoshi, the cat, was joining me as well. So I wasn't all alone. That was actually nice because I really don't like waking up Paul. So something interesting happened. So I have diabetes insipidus. So meaning if I don't take at night a squirt of desmopressin in one of my nostrils, I excessively drink and pee. Well, not necessarily drinking, but peeing. Unless I'm fasting or I just eat a little tiny amount, then I don't need the desmopressin. Otherwise, I need the desmopressin every day. So on moving day, I ate a normal amount of calories, 1,600, and I forgot to take the desmo in the evening. But as soon as we got to the resort, I was barely drinking anymore. And also the day after, I was barely drinking because usually when I forget to take the desmopressin, I start drinking and drinking and drinking. But that didn't happen. And the following day, I didn't eat much and I had to force myself to keep drinking. I had a rough, scratchy throat that I usually get when the desmopressin doesn't work anymore. But then I also get super thirsty. But so I had like a rough, scratchy throat, but I wasn't thirsty at all. So that was super weird. And well, I also didn't pee excessively. Of course, Paul was super worried again when I felt so badly, and he said maybe we should quit this nomad life. But I told him, hey, no matter where we are, I will be sick. So I'd rather be sick here in beautiful paradise. In the beautiful paradise where I have 3 super cute cats. They usually sleep with me in my bed, and on that dreadful night, 2 of the 3 cats were sleeping in my bed, touching my feet and legs, and that really helped so much. And that was just the beginning of those 3 cats being there for me so much when I had pains, didn't feel good, had nausea, and just needed them. Stay happy, stay healthy.